Good morning. It's the 8th of August, Monday morning. And I got a notice from the AKC that my little girl is 9 months old today. Yep, she was born 9 months ago. She's done a lot of maturing in the last week. She suddenly started glomming on to me, and she still does a little rebellion and runs around faster to get away from me, to run around the house, because she just wants to run. And she's running more, and she's running stronger. Instead of just going around the house 3 times or half a dozen times, now she's going around a dozen times or maybe more. She's strong. My name is Dr. John Taylor Kent. This is the Dr. John Taylor Kent channel. Continuation of giving psychology away. I'm in Oklahoma City traveling. My neighbor's in a beautiful Dutch Star luxury liner. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a land yacht. He and his wife just bought this rig used. Looks brand new. It's a 2020, and they're headed home to Pennsylvania from Phoenix. He's getting 7 miles to the gallon. Well, I mean, he's got a 43-footer, and I'm getting 7.5 miles to the gallon, and I got a 28-footer. Of course, his diesel fuel is running more than $1 more per gallon, which I think is a sacrilege at this point. The number one goal of a president should be to get the price of diesel fuel down, because the prices of everything else are reliant upon the cost of diesel fuel. But they are waging war against us, not for us. They're not defending us. This is a war against us. Mark my words on it. And as I told my neighbor, you know, I'm telling people about the original 13th Amendment, which puts attorneys in their place. I'm telling people the truth about the medical military industrial complex, and unless you're living under a rock, that must be something you're becoming familiar with. And by now, most everybody's got someone that's been affected by this stuff. We have no idea of the number of actual deaths because the media, everything's controlled. The only folks that are telling us the truth about the death rate in the United States are the life insurance companies, because they're paying out at a much higher rate than ever before. Of course, people lie with statistics and with their words all the time. So the death rate I heard last was 164%. Someone's trying to tell me it's 164% above normal, which would mean 264%. So we don't know what they really are. I'm thinking it's just 64% above normal, because if it was much higher than that, we would really be noticing much more. My brother took the clot shot. He got a clot from it. He's too dumb to realize that it come from the vaccine. The doctors haven't convinced us because of his age. That's the number one thing these things are noted for. And when these folks roll out a weapon against us, they tend to make it something that goes between the disciplines. So it's biomechanical. Chemical? No, it's more biomechanical, believe it or not. That's how I look at it. I look at anything when they're putting carbon strips in the thing to cut up your organs and to get into your body and do all kinds of weird damage wherever it goes. I consider that more mechanical. And it's biological, of course. And the fellow who warned us about that was murdered last November. The number one researcher in the world was in Europe, and shortly after Thanksgiving, he made a video, and within 2 days he was dead. So they murdered him. We are ruled by murderers and thieves. Now, the whole story's in the Bible, and I sell the latest and best version of the Bible. That's what I represent. People aren't buying Bibles right now, and they're hunkering down. And as I told my neighbor, I can't blame them. Nobody knows what's next. Everybody's afraid, but the main thing is you're afraid of the truth. People are afraid to face the truth and know the truth. At least they have to take action about it. Look, your very lives depend upon you knowing the truth. Love, truth, and justice. That's the message that pervades out of the NIV study Bible that I have. It's a command. Love, truth, and justice. In that order. Because you can't have justice before you have truth. You have to know the truth in order to render good judgment for justice. And this idea of political justice, economic justice, social justice, none of those are justice. Justice is one of those things that has to be pure. Whenever you guss it up by trying to give it some sort of an adjective, you destroy it. You know, it's no longer justice. It's a rather pure concept. Well, folks, it's really early in the morning. I ran the generator most of the night. My neighbor asked me if it was okay if he run his generator. I said, oh, yeah, go ahead. I should have told him I've been running it all night. He knows that. He pulled in when I was running it. I had to run the AC most of the night. I shut it off. It's a little over 80 degrees here. I did not have the extra wind power, horsepower, sail power to push on through to Amarillo, where the temperatures would have been a lot cooler, and I probably would have been more comfortable than right here. And I'm hoping there's a little less humidity there, but I just don't know. Folks, I need you to read the Bible. I need you to get a good basic understanding, because there's lessons there that I really can't take you to until you're ready for it. And if you haven't read the Bible before, that's fine. If you're naive, that's about perfect, because then you'll read it for what it really says instead of some la-la stuff that somebody's preached to you that's not true. So you need to understand that the evil guys read the Bible too, and they use it. They live by it. They use it as a playbook. They want to act in the stead of God. They want to be God. So what do? They level all of those errors at us. They induce us to do those sins. Balaam, basically a sexual-oriented sin, resulted in plagues. They get us to violate ourselves and each other doing that stuff. And then the second one is gainsaying of Achan. Basically, that's going for profit, getting paid off. I do think there's something about undermining authority in that as well. So, and there's a third major sin that goes through the Bible. These are mentioned as a trio in about 4 different sections of the Bible, and I don't remember the third one very well. I'm probably guilty of it, that's why. Okay, I want you to read the Bible. Read it as a history book. Read it as for the laws that it gives us. Those abide by natural law. I'm tired of these jackasses who want to lecture me about, laws and stuff, and insist that they're going to be telling me stuff I already know, telling me stuff I've already considered. So the most important thing isn't so much that we debate this stuff as we live it. And when we start living according to the law, Lorraine, good girl. When we start living according to what we agreed to at Mount Sinai, she's insisting I pet her, and she's pretty strong. I don't know what she weighs now. Last time we weighed her, she was 42. She's grown a lot. I'm thinking she's 50 at this point. Anyway, she's riding free out of the kennel, although she likes to put the nose to the doggone navigation touchscreen when it talks. She's got to pay attention to it, and wants to be pet while we're going down the road, and try to get in my lap one time. It's not going to work. Well, this is my morning update. The other channel, Awakening Israel, I realize I only have 3 subscribers. I've got more than 3 dozen subscribers here. It's not very many, but that's a dozen times more than the other channel. So I'm just going to populate this channel and work on this for the time being. I need to get a thumbnail of the cover of my Bible. I haven't figured out how to do thumbnails yet. That needs to go up on Awakening Israel. Awakening Israel, I want that to be focused really on the Bible itself and the apocryphal books and some other extra biblical books. Well, folks are waking up here in Oklahoma City, and we are being entertained by the garbage truck up here, and she's not liking it too much. She's a real guard dog. She's a real sentry. Her hearing is really good. Not much escapes her. And, inside the motorhome, she's gonna guard. That's all there is to it. Part of her job. All right. You have a very good day. I've kept the time down this morning. Hopefully this will be up and loaded before noontime today. May Yahweh bless you. I didn't get to read my Bible this morning, but I got all my nutrition laid out for the day, and I got a decent breakfast in me. So I'm going to push on and see if I can maybe make it to my destination today and pick up my toad. I think that's a little too much, and I don't have to go that far that fast. I'm an old man. If I got to take a nap, I'll pull over, start the generator up, get the air conditioner going, and I'll sleep whatever length I want at this point. Actually, whatever length I have to. You know, biology dictates quite a bit when you get to my age here. And yeah, I'm working on some age, all right. I'm not done fighting yet. I'm fighting for you, fighting for our nation. And I mean that in terms of the people that founded America, not these immigrants that have come in here. I know some of them are good people, some of them are okay, but the problem is that we flooded the gates. This is the giant flood. They flooded us with people with whom we're not compatible. And we've got people that want to dictate to us. My God, my neighbor friend's wife said that she wanted us to she's got her green card. She's going to vote now. Now we have to do what she says. Like she's a dictator. She wants us not to have any guns. I'm sorry, baby. You swore an allegiance to support that Constitution. The Second Amendment's not an option. It's mandatory. If you're going to be an American and you're going to take an oath to support the Constitution, if you don't support the Second Amendment, you're in violation of your oath. You know, if you don't agree with it, then go back to your own lands. That's all I can say. Why? Because we're ready to fight here in the country. We're armed up. Nobody's giving their guns up. We don't give a damn what the ATF does. We don't care what Biden does. We don't care how much the DOJ or the FBI want to target us and put us on lists. We've had it with these murderers and thieves. The FBI covered up the assassination of Kennedy. They should have solved it, but no. J. Edgar Hoover killed at least 31 eyewitnesses to the Kennedy assassination. I want to know who the umbrella man was. Who was the jackass with that umbrella out there in that day? I want to know who he was, because he was the signal man for that hit. Isn't it time we discovered the truth? Isn't it time we faced the truth? Faced our fears? Talk at you later. Yahweh bless.